Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. And with that being said, how is everyone doing? How have you guys been enjoying the price action on QNT? The answers to that question will determine if you are prepared for what is coming. Because as we really kind of look at QNT, listen. I have been very, very vocal since 2022's little run during the summertime up until the fall time of 2022. Do you guys remember what we were saying back in 2022 around QNT? If you missed it, well, what we were talking about is lower price action. A lot of people called me and also Encrypt30 and many other individuals crazy for saying that QNT was going to come down below $100 and test anywhere between $60 to $84. And guess what? Just recently, I don't know if they are going to give us, so let me go into the last month. So the low was $85 in the last 30 days. And that was just recently, actually. I think that was today when we came down to $85. But either way, right, as we really kind of look at QNT, to me personally, as a utility individual, right, like somebody who's focused on utility heavily, I have said it in the past that QNT is probably going to be one of the most sought after tokens in a utility driven bull run simply because of what Quant can accomplish. Outside of this, right, like I don't think that we need to look at price action even if it is like for the 1 year time frame. Like we're still down about 34% 1 year, right? I still look at this as an incredible opportunity to be buying up cheap QNT. Anything under $100 and I'm buying. It doesn't mean that I have to go heavy every single time that I buy. No, if I set up a weekly buy order on QNT, I already told you guys this. Every single week I buy QNT until we are over $100 because it just makes sense. But as we look at the price action, we warned everyone for multiple months, going all the way back to November 12th, right? Here's November 12th, 2022. At this moment, we start to see QNT dropping. Beforehand, we already warned everyone, right? Like we were talking about this back in, I think like the beginning of November, the end or middle of October. It was right when we were topping out, right? Because we topped out at like the middle of October. And when you see how many QNT holders who didn't believe me and NCashOfficial, $64 was possible at $200, now realize Mr. MM, market maker, doesn't care what your coin does. He will blindside you. And no, FTX madness made no difference. It looked like garbage beforehand. 89 to 133 to 64 is a valid path if $64 is to happen. And again, shout out to Encrypt30 for this because we were really kind of addressing this back then. Now, again, is $89 going to be the area where we stop at? Well, we already seen below $89. I was targeting $84, me personally. $64 could still happen. We don't know if it's going to happen, right? You got to make sure that you are aware of the risk holding to a specific level. That's why we start to average in under $100 for an example. But also, at this time, Credible Crypto was posting about QNT. He started posting at like the end of November, talking about how QNT is going to come back down to some of these big areas. His target area was like anywhere between like $50 to $74. And a lot of people hated this, right? Like a lot of people were saying like, there's no way that this is going to happen. And even on Encrypt's post, I think that there was a lot of QNT maxis talking about how, you know, this is never going to happen. And we were getting a bunch of hate during that time. And even I'm Crypt, right? CJ over on Twitter as well was talking about QNT dropping down. And you even seen Credible Crypto saying, careful, the QNT army may come after you for providing logical, unbiased TA. Because again, like nobody likes to hear, hey, your coin's going to crash, right? Now, when we go and look at the chart, like I said, I've had my levels outlined on this chart for a very long time. 85, 84, roughly around that range has been the target point. So far on the 3-day span, what I'm liking here is that we've already got that deep wick. The question is, are we going to do something like what we've seen back here in January all the way to March, where we had this nice strong retracement all the way up to about like roughly 160. We came back down. We wick back up, but we created lower low resistance on the candle bodies, and then we seen the big drop down to like $40. The question is, are we about to break out yet again, retest high resistance somewhere around like roughly $142, maybe even possibly $127, and then break back down and come down to $60? It's possible. But what I personally would like to see is us reclaim $100, hold this as support, and then continue higher, and then ultimately have maybe a bull run, right? Like that would be great. But during this time, I'm not taking QNT for advantage under $100. I have been accumulating and buying because I still believe that QNT long term is going to be an absolute giant. Now, outside of that, we recently seen some big updates from the QNT team, actually. We launched a new service today for financial institutions, payment firms, and other enterprises struggling to protect their smart contracts and decentralized applications from vulnerabilities. Again, as we really kind of look at what Quant has been doing, they have been very vocal. They have been very loud. It's not like they've been, quiet while QNT as a token is dropping heavily. I think that this is a classic scenario, right? Where we have a massive run up, which by the way, yes, QNT did a major gain during that time, which is why we were saying like this thing's going to retrace, because from $40 all the way to the top here, it did roughly about a 5x. Now, for those out there that are not aware, go look at your favorite altcoin from roughly January to now. I'm sure that you've probably seen a massive gain, and then now it's kind of slumped and it's going sideways. That's usually what the market does. And QNT, well, it did not lag. It was actually one of the first runners in this market during this mini bull run, if you will. That's what a lot of people are calling it. A lot of people will call it a bear market rally, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, right? Like QNT was a first runner. So for it to go sideways is fine, but we've seen the Quant team still very vocal regardless and building. Now, when we really kind of look at this service, this is a huge service because there's a lot of problems around hacks within this space. I'm sure that you guys are aware. But we launched a new service today for financial institutions, payment firms, and other enterprises struggling to protect their smart contracts and decentralized applications from vulnerabilities. In doing so, we're enabling the secure transformation to decentralization and blockchain networks, migrating from on-premise and cloud infrastructure and applications to distributed ledger technologies. We've developed a suite of testing tools and bolstered the specialist knowledge required to audit smart contracts to the highest standards. And this is definitely very exciting because guess what? This is the first of a suite of enterprise security solutions for blockchain, known as Quant Protect. This is also delivered by the same experts who powered the Project Rosalind retail central bank digital currency project, which if you guys know, yes, that was the big one that they collaborated with the BIS on, which we might even get to talk about in this video as well. But down here, we do see, although blockchains themselves are highly secure, smart contracts are programs that run on the blockchain and govern protocols such as cross-chain bridges can be exploited by malicious actors if not written properly and tested thoroughly. This is roughly a $4 billion problem. So they are trying to really kind of solve this, and this is very well their solution to solve that. Bridges are an attractive target for hackers because the smart contracts in effect become huge centralized repositories of funds backing the assets that have been bridged to the new chain. A more desirable honeypot could scarcely be imagined. And this is a big initiative because outside of this is going to help a lot of the pain points around enterprises building within smart contracts, really kind of alleviate them. And also, we even see a few quotes down here, given the risk level posed by substandard smart contracts, it has become industry best practice for anyone issuing them to have them first audited by a third party. What makes our service different is our focus on finance and our heritage in cybersecurity. The Quant team understands the intricacies of this highly regulated sector and combines the necessary technical, business, and legal knowledge to offer an appropriate level of analysis and diligence. Over the last few years, this is the head of innovation, by the way, in order to write smart contracts while working on large-scale infrastructure projects like LAC Chain and Project Rosalind, we've developed a suite of testing tools and bolstered the specialist knowledge required to audit smart contracts to the highest standards. That's now available to any Quant customer via Smart Audit. And this is just on par with building out the blockchain business side of things, which is crucial. And this is also right on par with what they've been doing around the Overledger platform. Going back to June 27th, this was their Overledger platform. This was making enterprise-grade technology available in the blockchain space. We do see today we unveiled Overledger platform, making the same enterprise-grade technology that has underpinned our projects with institutional and central bank customers to date accessible to large enterprises, SMEs, and developers for the first time, allowing them to build out blockchain businesses. We even see Overledger platform as a game changer for anyone that wants to build a business in the blockchain economy. And this is all happening in the last couple months, right? Like, this is big news. And also, even the collaboration between the BIS, right, back in June 16th, was a big one to look at, because this is talking about testing how APIs could facilitate retail payments and CBDC use cases. I mean, this is supporting the entire public-private sector initiative that we've been talking about, and it's all around API plug-and-play technology. And they break down everything around this. They talk about how for the first time money is ready for the digital age. We have gone over this 100 times. But why is this so damn significant? Well, it's because the blueprint for the future monetary system, improving the old, enabling the new. This is from the BIS, by the way. The key takeaways that they do talk about here, which I will go over a few things outside of this, is tokenization of money and assets has great potential, but initiatives to date have taken place in silos without access to central bank money and the foundation of trust it provides. Those silos is because the limited interoperability. This is also why I say, like, at this current moment in time, don't take QNT for advantage while it's trading below $100. Like, outside of what we have seen, I know that this market can get peak bearish at times. But as we really kind of look at what's going on here, like, listen, if we see $60, if we see $70, it does not matter, right? We are going to be accumulating this thing because I believe that as we look at the underlying layer around this new monetary system, it's going to be a connector. We need the bridges. And we even see here a new type of financial market infrastructure, a unified ledger, could capture the full benefits of tokenization by combining central bank money, tokenized deposits, and tokenized assets on a programmable platform. Now, when I say bridges, by the way, don't take anything away from XRP. We're not talking about a bridge like that. That's a bridge currency. We're talking about a bridge foundation that can connect all the networks to one. That way, we actually have seamless interoperability and we don't have fragmentation between networks. But also, within this, we do see, as well as improving existing processes through the seamless integration of transactions, a unified ledger could harness programmability to enable arrangements that are currently not practicable, thereby expanding the universe of possible economic outcomes. We also see multiple ledgers, each with a specific use case. This is where we start to see interconnectivity. We need interconnectivity. Might coexist, interlinked by application programming interfaces to ensure interoperability, as well as promote financial inclusion and a level playing field. There's that API idea around interoperability as well. And who do you think they're talking about? Because again, they just experimented with API interoperability with Quant. Also, when we actually look at slide 11, here you guys have standardized APIs enable interoperability between old and new systems. And here you guys have the payment messaging model. You also have the programmable platform next to the payment platform. You also have private tokenized ledger model, and then you have the fully fledged unified ledger as well. All of this needs interoperability. I mean, it's so crucial to really kind of look at this. And here you guys also have the stylized example of the security settlement process in the unified ledger as well. And again, all of this is going to harness API plug and play technology. So if you're thinking like, oh, well, I don't see this, there, that, whatever, I want you guys to realize that they are embracing DLT and blockchain. It's so crucial at this current moment in time that you're paying attention to a lot of these projects. Because even from Project Rosalind, we found out that they're actually utilizing all of the experimentation from all the projects that the BIS has, really kind of worked on in the past for this new blueprint model for the future monetary system. And we already know that the BIS is working with, for an example, many names within this space like Ripple. We also know that they're working with Quant. We know that they're working with a few other players as well. And a lot of the other players are tied to, like, for an example, like Chainlink. They're tied to like Swift with the DTCC. And again, for those out there that think that I'm just like, I love Quant, I'm never going to touch the Link, I hold both Link and QNT because I think that they're both great bets on interoperability. And they both have their own area of focus. But outside of that, as we really kind of look at things changing and evolving, blockchain DLT is so crucial in this new world of finance. And it's becoming so clear through a lot of these initiatives that the BIS, the IMF, the World Bank, they're all taking and what they're focusing on and talking about. Most people don't look beyond just the cover of the book, but all of the juicy information is actually within the book, and they really kind of outline everything as long as you are paying attention and making sure that you are doing your research, which is again why I really don't care about the price chart, right? Like, whether we're trading at $10 or $100, anywhere between that level on QNT is, in my opinion, a massive opportunity, because I really do look at QNT as probably one of the most incredible utility assets within the space, because I think that Quant is actually going to be the bridge layer to connect everything within the space, all of the disruptive technology within the space, like XRP and what XRP does, and HBAR and Algo and all of these other great players. Quant is essentially facilitating the bridge between these currencies and these networks and these DLTs to the networks that we know of today that are around us. So I'm very excited for the future of QNT. I'm very excited that we finally got to some of the levels that we have been waiting for over a year, which is also proof that, listen, patience is a virtue in this space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on if you guys want free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.